Syntax number 13 is the most important syntax. If you want to capture selected record, first you have to capture the element. After capturing element, you have to capture the record to work area. If you want to capture the selected record, you have to use getStaticAttributes method and you'll get that record to work area, ls_item. So here you can see in our last class we have developed a contextual panel example. Here you can see this. When you click on search data, you are getting the data totally to table. But now my requirement is I want to clear these records. If you want to clear these records as a developer, you need to write the code at node level. The node name is itab here. You have to clear the records from node itab level. So what I'm trying to do is, I'll try to create one button here to clear the records. So I'm creating a separate button. So you can see clear records. And I'm trying to create one action. I'm just creating one action. Now there is a button with action. So you have to go to implementation. If you go to implementation, so this is the area where you need to write the code. So whenever you want to clear the records, first of all, you have to get node reference. Remember that point. So in our case, the node reference is itab. So you can always get the node reference by using code wizard. Whatever the syntaxes I have explained in the last class, those syntaxes can be generated through code wizard itself. So let me open that. I'm going to wizard, and you can see in wizard there is a context option. In context, whichever node you want to refer in program, you have to select that node. The node name is itab, so I'm selecting itab. And I'm trying to use read operation here. There is a read operation, so it is generating the code automatically here. You can see that this code is auto-generated, but in this coding, here you can see this is your node reference. I was telling you in the last class, you can see LOND node name, that is nothing but node reference. This is auto-generated. LOND itab is a node reference, it is auto-generated, and you can see LOEL, that is nothing but element. So this is also auto-generated here, LOEL itab, that is nothing but element. And you can see ls underscore, this is nothing but work area. So this is also auto-generated here, ls underscore itab. So whatever, here you can see whenever you want to clear the records, especially those who have missed this first 5 minutes, it's better concentrate now. I want to clear the records now from the Webdynpro table. If you want to clear the records from Webdynpro table, first you have to get the node reference. So if you want to get this node reference, you can directly use wizard plus node itab plus you can use read operation. When you use these options, automatically it will give you node reference. You need not write the code here. So let me open that wizard. I'm selecting context and I'm trying to choose iTab and I'm using read operation here. So when you use read operation, automatically you can see these lines are auto-generated. Node, this is element, and this is work area. Node, element, this is work area. And if you want to write internal table, then you have to copy paste this line. You can copy paste this line and make it LT. Because you can see, whenever you refer internal table, in the last class I told you LT underscore is important. So you can use LT underscore iTab, but here you have to make some changes. You have to make elements. Element iTab means it is work area. Elements underscore iTab means internal table. So you have to remember these points. Node, element, work area, internal table. And you can see when this code is auto generated, it will gives you WD context get child node. WD context get child node, it gives you node reference here, LOND iTab. So in this example, I want to use only up to node reference. So I'm deleting the remaining lines. Up to here, this is auto generated. And in the last line, it is giving you node reference, LOND iTab. So after getting the node reference, so you can use all the syntaxes here. You can see invalidate, you can use get element count, you can use invalidate, you can use move next, move previous, move to, clear selection, get lead selection index, bind table. So all these syntaxes you can use it on this node reference. Remember that point. So I'm trying to use this LOND iTab here, and you can call the required method, say for example invalidate. So invalidate is a method. It will clear everything according to our last class syntaxes. Last class means January 10th I have taken the last class. So here you can see this is syntax you need to use to clear the elements after getting node reference. So I'll try to repeat again, just observe. Get the node iTab reference, and this iTab node reference you can get through code wizard. Wizard plus you can use node iTab plus you can use read operation. So it gives you node reference. Let me use that wizard, select context, iTab, and I'm using read operation. Read operation will generate the total coding to you. And as I said, this is a node LOND, LOEL is element, LS is work area. For example, if you want to use internal table, then you have to use the same line. You have to use this line if you want to use internal table, but make it like copy that, paste it here. If you want to use internal table, make it LT. And here you make it elements. So don't forget these 4 references. And these are the things that I was explaining in the last class. Node, element, work area, internal table. So here you can see LOND iTab. You are getting the node reference in this line. So remaining lines you can delete if required. And directly use this node reference here and call invalidate method. You have to call invalidate method. So here there is an invalidate method. So I'm trying to test it now. Let us activate. So I'm trying to get the data, but when I click on clear button, it will clear all the records. And it is clearing the records from node level. When you click search data, you'll get the records again. When you clear, it will clear from node level. You can see the difference. Now, let us concentrate on how to change the selection. By default, you can see selection is on which record? First record here. You can see that. Now, I want to change that selection. Here from first to second, second to third, something like that. So what you can do is, so here if you want to change the selection, so let us create one button. And let me provide something like next record. Let us create one action, next record. Let us go to implementation. In implementation, so again, whenever you want to move the record, if you want to move the record to next position, then you have to get again the node reference, because records are in node. Don't forget that. So you can get this node reference by using like wizard plus node itab plus you can use read operation. It gives you node reference. After getting node reference, you can write any method. You can use any method which I explained in our last class. These syntaxes you can use. So let me do that here. Wizard, I'm selecting context, itab. Again, I'm using read operation, same coding will be auto-generated. This is auto-generated. But in today's class now, in this requirement, I don't want to use other lines. So I'm deleting them, and you can see LOND itab is your node reference. Try to use that and try to call a simple method move underscore next. You can call that method. Very simple. These are the syntaxes I explained in the last class. You can see move next, move previous, first, last, etc. So that is what we are using here. You get the node reference. After getting node reference, call the appropriate method which I listed in your previous classes. So let us see how exactly it works. I'm activating. So here you can see I'm getting the data and selection is on first record. But if I click on next button, selection will go to next position here. That's the purpose of move next functionality. Now the same functionality you can also do in form also. In form level also you can implement the same functionalities. Move next, move previous, move first, move last, you can implement at form level. So let me do that here. In view 3 I'm trying to do it. So today's class is the most important class. Just concentrate more. So I'm creating one more button here. And here I want to move the record. So I want to display the next record automatically. So I'm creating one action. There's a button with an action. So let us go to implementation. Again, the same story you can implement here. First get the node reference. After getting node itab reference, so you can get this node itab reference by using wizard. Node itab plus you can use read operation. So you can go to wizard now, choose your itab and choose read operation. It will generate the same coding. And you can see elbow ND itab, there's a node reference. You can delete the remaining lines. This is your node reference, and just try to use same method, move underscore next. So to understand today's class, last class is very important because I have explained all these syntaxes. Okay, let us test it now. So I'm trying to use search data, but selection is on first record. If you go to third screen, it will display first record by default. But when I click on next button, it will try to change that record in the form. You can observe the difference. It is changing the record in a form. Similarly, you can also go to previous record. Here you can see it is trying to display next record automatically. Now, what I want to do is, here you can see in a table, I have selected a record. The selected record I want to delete from the database. I want to delete the selected record from database as well as from Webdynpro level. So that's a requirement. So what I'll try to do is, I'll try to go to view 1 and let us create one button here. So let me create one action, something like delete record. So I've created action. Okay, so now, if you want to delete the selected record, first you need to capture the record, capture the selected record from node level. So don't forget this. This is a very common requirement. First of all, you have to capture the selected record from the node itab. So in the last class I told you, if you want to capture selected record, you have to use these lines. Don't forget this one. And these lines which I explained in the last class, those lines you need not write every time because it is generated through wizard. Get element, get static attributes. So you will get record to work area. So these lines will be auto-generated every time. But after capturing the record, what you want to do, that you have to implement according to your requirement. So let me do that. If you want to capture the record, directly you can use wizard. And you can use node itab plus read operation. It will generate everything for you. I'm using wizard. I'm selecting itab and you can use read operation. So it is generating the code automatically, and if you closely observe here, it is calling get element because it will capture selected element. And here it is calling get static attributes. That means it captures the record into work area, that is nothing but ls itab. Get element and get static attributes automatically captures the record to work area, ls underscore itab. So don't forget this. So I'll try to do it again, just observe. This is the most important. Wizard, itab, you can use read operation. So it will generate all these lines. In that coding, get element and get static attributes, and this is the work area. So whichever record is selected by user will come to work area. So ls underscore itype is work area. It will capture that record to work area. So now, so what you can do is you can write your delete statement. It's normal ABAP statement you can write. Delete something like from, what is the database table we are using? Database table we are using ZEMP. So I want to delete that record from ZEMP, and you can use where id equal to, you can pass ls itab hyphen, you can use id. This is the important point. After capturing the record to work area, we are deleting from database by passing that work area. So this is a normal ABAP statement. But you need to pass your work area hyphen field name. Now, if this operation is successful, then you can delete that record from that. After deleting record from database, you can delete record from node level by using remove underscore element method. This syntax I told you in the last class. So concentrate more on these lines. We are capturing the record to work area. After that, we are deleting record from database by passing work area hyphen field name. And if database operation is successful, then we are deleting that element from node level. We are deleting that particular element from node level by using remove element method. So this is 32nd line is database operation. 35th line is node level operation. So this is what I was explaining here. Here you can see get element. After that you can write remove element method. Syntax 11, get element, you can use remove element for removing the record from the node level. So that is what is used here. And don't forget node, element, work area, all these things are auto-generated here. You can see this. Node, element, work area, always these things are auto-generated. So whenever required, you can use them here. Work areas, element, node, so these things you can use it directly. So let me activate and test it. So you can get the data. I am selecting Ramesh record. That Ramesh record, if I click on delete, that will be deleted from database and Webdynpro also. You can observe the difference. If I select Kumar, it will delete that record. You can see the difference. And when you refresh, you will get only latest records always. Ramesh and Kumar record, they are deleted. Okay, now the next functionality, I want to implement update operation. I am getting the data here. So whichever record is selected, we are displaying in view 3. But in view 3, after modifying the record, I want to update into database. Now I want to implement update operation from view 3. So whichever record is selected, user can modify here. User can modify here. And after modifying, if you click on update, I want to update in database. So let us see that how it works. Let us go to view 3. And I'm creating one separate button. Update record. I'm creating one action, update record. You can see that. if you want to update the record, first you need to capture that record. Don't forget this. Capture that selected record from Node I tab. So it's the same story. Whenever you want to capture that record, directly use wizard. Node I tab plus you can use read operation. It will capture the selected record. That means user will modify that record we are going to capture. So I'm using the same option, wizard, I tab with read operation. So it will generate the same coding, get element, get static attributes. So the modified record will come to work area. The record which is modified by user will come to work area automatically. So why don't you write your update statement? You can directly write update, something like ZDMP, set name equal to, you can put like this. These are the fields. Name, salary, status. Okay. After capturing the record here to work area, you can update all the records, all the values of that record. Status equal to, and you can use where clause here. And now, as a developer, you need to pass the latest values which is provided by user. So, you can provide work area hyphen that field name. You can provide work area hyphen field name. Work area hyphen field name. You can provide like this. So that is the advantage of capturing the record. After capturing, you can do any operation. So this is what we have implemented. We are capturing the record and we are updating into database level. So that's the code you have to implement. So don't forget ls itab is important. It's work area. So you are getting the data. Now I want to update Ravi record to, say for example, Suman. Then go to view 3. So Ravi I am modifying to Suman. Salary I am making it 7 and this I am making it 99 and I am making it approved. And when you click on update, it will update in the database. And when you come back to the screen, so you can see the latest value is available. And when you refresh, you will get the latest value because in the database it is updated. You can see that. But in the coming classes, I will try to discuss messages. When I discuss messages, then you can print those messages to user after updating and after deleting. So in today's class, I don't want to cover that messages. We'll discuss later. And you can also open database level and you can verify as of now for time's sake. You open ZDMP and you can verify whether record is modified or not. Okay, now here you can see there is a second screen. Second screen, here you can see this entire table is editable. This entire table is editable. So what I want to do is, I want to add one more new row. To this table, I want to add one more new row. So if you want to add a new row, then directly you can use this one. Something like bind structure. Here you can see. If you want to assign a single record to a node, directly you can use bind structure by passing the empty work area. Get the node reference, use bind structure, and you can use empty work area. But frankly speaking, you need not write this code also. It is generated through Wizard. But I have already explained how this syntaxes works. So let me go to view to now. So let me create one button. Button. Say for example, add new row. Add new row. I'm creating one action. Add new row. So you can see this. Add new row. So first of all, to add new row, directly you can use Wizard option. You need not write the code also. Wizard node itab plus you can use append operation. Wizard node itab plus append is the operation you need to use. Append automatically generates bind structure method. It automatically generates this method, bind structure. So let us do this options. Wizard, you can select your node itab and you can use append. You can see this. Append will generate bind structure method automatically. So you can see this in the last line, it is generating bind structure. It is generating bind structure. So you need not write any code here because it is passing empty work area. It is passing empty work area for bind structure, so it will create a new row at Webdynpro level. So let us test it. So these are the existing records and this table is editable, but when I click on add, you can observe the difference. One new empty row is added. If I click on add, it will add one empty row. You can see the difference. It's very simple. But now, what user can do is, this entire table is editable. So user can modify all these records. Say for example, Vijay to Ajay, Kiran to Suman, and Satish to Kumar, and Suresh to Ramesh. So he can modify the existing records, and the user also can provide new records here, 1008, 1009, 1010, something like that. He can provide new records with something like X, Y, Z, something like M. So these new records and modified records, I want to send it to database. That's the next operation. I want to send all modified records and I want to update new records. So both I want to do it. So let us go to view to now. So there's a button now, something like I want to save the records, save records in database. I'm using save records. Let me go to action. Here you can see this. Just double click, it will open that action. So now, first of all, you have to capture all modified records and new records from node itab. That is the main requirement. You have to capture all modified records and new records from the node level. So after doing that, you can write your modify statement. So whenever you want to implement this functionality, directly you can use this option. Here you can see, let me open that. Here you can see there is one method. Here you can see, if you want to capture all records from node, then you can directly use get static attributes table method. This method comes into picture if you want to capture all records and modified records. So the records will come to internal table, that is LTI tab. Syntax number 7. Get static attributes table is a method and records will come to internal table LTI tab. So frankly speaking, you need not write this line also, but to make you understand, I gave all these syntaxes. Directly you can use wizard plus node itab plus you have to use read plus table operation. It will generate get static attributes table method. It automatically generates this method. You need not write the code. You can see get static attributes table. This is generated through these options. So let me implement that. Wizard, choose your node itab, and you can see read plus table. For read there is a radio button, for table there is a checkbox. You have to select both the things. When you select read plus table, you can see this method is auto-generated, get static attributes table. And the records will come to internal table LT underscore itab. And that LT itab is already declared, you need not worry. Get static attributes table is an important method to capture all records to internal table. LT itab, then directly you can write your database operation like modify ZEMP from table LT underscore itab. That's it. Modify so and so database table from internal table. So let me open database also so that you can recognize. So these are the existing records. These are the existing records in the database. Now let me open our Webdynpro screen. Let me activate now. So this is your Webdynpro screen. This is your backend screen. Now when you go to second screen of Webdynpro, you can add new rows here. Say for example 1008, 1009, 1010, and I want to make, say for example, Kalyan, then Ashish, say for example Srinivas. Okay, you can update other values, and I want to modify previous records, existing records. Kiran to, say for example, this one, and then I want to update to some other things like Kumar and Ramesh. So when you click on save, in the database, when you refresh, you'll get the latest records also. You can see the difference. Some latest new records are available and some records are modified. So this is how we try to use this operation. Get static attributes table, and you can use modify statement. So I'll be discussing messages in the coming classes. Don't worry now. As of now, you try to verify in the database after doing some operations. Okay, let me take some doubts from your side so that we can proceed further. Okay, hi students. So you can ask your doubts one by one.
Hello, sir. Santosh here.
Okay, Santosh.
Sir, can we can't use this only modify ZEMP simply.
Modify.
It modify ZEMP.
That's a database table. Modify ZEMP. That's a database table, but the new records are in internal table, right? So whatever the new records available in internal table, you have to send it to database.
Okay. Why? Because in general, that's it.
Is your point clear?
Yeah, fine. From internal table we are modifying, and that will be it is implementing on database table.
Exactly. Yeah. It is compulsory. You have to pass your internal table. Otherwise, how database can recognize the new records?
Okay, sir.
Okay. What about others? Today's class is very, very important. So if you have any doubts, you can clarify now itself. So the main point I want to tell you is the syntaxes are important. The same syntaxes we are using, like invalidate, move next, move previous, and you can see bind table, already we have used it, and get static attributes table, bind structure, you can see remove element, and you can see get static attributes method. So these are the very, very important syntaxes. Total Webdynpro depends on these things. I request you all people to refer the 710 syntaxes thoroughly, and I request you people to practice today's example thoroughly, because all the coming examples depends on this one.
What is use of WD this and WD context?
WD context, what it will do is it will try to get the node reference. If you want to get node reference, you can directly use like this, WD context. It refers to context of Webdynpro, because Webdynpro contains a context, right? If you want to refer context, you have to use WD context. And from WD context, you can get node, you can get element, you can get record, whatever you want. By using WD context, you can get node reference, you can get element reference, you can get something like record. So this is anyhow, it is used by the wizard itself. You can see this. Always it is internally using WD context. In all the examples, it is using WD context. So WD context automatically refers to context here, this one. Is your point clear? Hello?
And WD this?
WD this I'll cover when I go for dynamic programming and other examples. As of now, I can say WD this here, it refers to controller. It refers to controller. Which controller it refers to? It refers to current controller. Remember that. Current controller means if you write the code in view controller, WD this refers to view controller. If you write the code in component controller, WD this refers to component controller. If you write the code in custom controller, WD this refers to that custom controller. So, which controller you want to write the code, based on that it refers to that particular controller. WD context refers to the current controller context. WD this refers to current controller. And I told you one more thing, like WD COMP controller. This refers to component controller.
Component.
This already we have used it. And in the coming classes, we are going to use WD assist. This also we are going to use. So it refers to assistance class.
Message.
It refers to assistance class. That I'll discuss later, don't worry. These are
So
the
can you please upload this video today only?
these are the standard references. And I told you, right, LO underscore ND underscore ITAB, that is LO ND ITAB. That means here in our case, LO ND node name. If you use this, then it refers to node. Already I gave this syntaxes.
Vijay, one more sentence is like that. Absolutely.
Your voice is not clear. Sami, your voice is not clear.
One of method I saw that is get attribute. What is the phonic get attribute?
Get attribute. Get attribute I'll cover in the next class.
Static attribute.
I'll cover that get attribute. Don't worry about that get attribute. I'll cover in the next class. In today's class, we have used get static attributes. Get static attributes is a method to capture selected record. Get static attributes is a method to capture the selected record. Here you can see, you can refer these things. Okay, let me complete this LY and DLS. I've already covered these things, references. These things you have to remember. Okay, so you are talking about get static attributes, right? So get static attributes here you can see whenever you want to capture that record from the node, get static attributes method comes into picture. Get attribute method I'll try to use it in the next class, mostly tomorrow or day after tomorrow. But in today's class we have used only get static attributes. What it will do is it will capture the entire record which is selected by user. Is it clear, Sami?
Yeah, clear with it.
Okay.
So can you please send this video today itself?
Video I'll send it, don't worry. Right now I'm in
Yeah,
office.
Okay.
better with it.
Right now I'm in office, so what I'll do is as soon as I go to home, I'll send. As soon as I go to home, I'll send.
Okay.
I've already recorded, don't worry about that.
Okay, okay. No issues.
Vijita, is it clear to you? Because I want everyone to be on same platform. If this is clear, then I can proceed further. Okay, so I'll explain one more thing. Say for example, I want to insert only one record. Let us understand that. I want to insert one record from a screen to from screen to database. I want to insert single record. So what I'll do is I'll take one separate node here. I'll try to take one separate node. This is, say for example, for inserting the record, and I want to use dictionary structure ZEMP, add attributes from structure. So I want to use this input node for inserting the record. So first of all, I'll try to create a form. First of all, I'll try to create a form by using this input node. Input node I'm using for inserting purpose. So let us create a form here. I'm taking group first. There's a group with matrix layout. Then I want to create a form so that user can insert new record. So let us go to Wizard, select form option, and maintain context binding with input node. To maintain context binding with input node, so whichever values are given by user, it will come to input node because of context binding. Very simple. Now I want to take one button here as insert. So let me provide some text. Insert, and let me create one action, insert action. Insert button with an action. So now I need to write the functionality here in insert action. So what you can do is, first of all, you have to capture that record. Capture the record from input node. User will give the record. That record will be inside input node. So from input node, you have to capture that record. So it's again the same story. Directly use Wizard. Plus you can use node input, and you can use read operation. Read operation will help you to capture that record. So let me do that through Wizard and select your input node, and you can use read operation. So again it will generate the same thing. Here you can see get static attributes, the most important method in Webdynpro. Get static attributes, so you will get that entire new record to work area. The work area becomes ls_input. So why don't you directly write insert operation here? Insert into database. ZEMP values are part of ls_input. That's it. You are capturing the record to work area, and from work area you are inserting into database. And before inserting, you can also put some validations here. If ls_input -id is not initial, then only I want to insert the record into database. You can implement all ABAP statements wherever required. Put some if condition, then insert the record. So let me test it here. So this is our screen, Webdynpro screen, and this is our database. Let me go to fourth view. In fourth view, I have created a separate form. So let me provide one more record, 1141s, with some name as Santosh, and something like salary as some 777, 77, status, say for example, approved. And when you click on insert button, you can see when you refresh in the database, it will get that record here. Santosh is a new record here. And similarly, I want to insert a new record, 1012, something like Sandeep. And then say for example rejected, and when you click on insert in the database, when you refresh, you will get that new record. Very simple. So the point here is you capture the data. You capture the data by using get static attributes and then insert the data. That's a very simple point. And say for example, think like this. I want to initialize the values. When I use, sorry. There You're getting the data and you are inserting here. But the point is, as soon as fourth screen is loaded, I want to initialize some default values. As soon as fourth screen is loaded. So it's very simple. So let us go to fourth view. There's a fourth view. So I want to initialize default values. So SAP has given one standard method, WD doInit. You can see that. WD doInit is a standard method for initialization purpose. It is for initialization. So double click on WD doInit method. So here, initializing the values is nothing but assigning default values to input node. You have to assign default values to input node, then it will display those values. So whenever I say assign, you need to use wizard. You can use that node. What is that node name? Node input. Plus you have to use set operation. That's the important point here. When I say capture, if you say capture, you have to use read. If I say assign, then you have to use set operation. Set operation is important. So when you use set operation, automatically it will generate this syntax. I think I did not do that. So it will generate this syntax here. If you use set operation, it will generate set static attributes method. This method will be auto-generated. Don't forget that. With set operation. And if you use read operation, it will generate get static attributes method. So don't forget these two basic points. And if you use something like append operation, it will generate find structure method. And if you use something like read plus table, it will generate get static attributes table method. And if you use set plus table, it automatically generates find table method. This we have already used it. And if you use, okay, these are the things that you need to remember as of today's class is concerned. So this is the final point I want to tell you. This is a wizard behavior. Once if you understand this, I can say the remaining examples will be very simple. You should know the wizard behavior. Set, read, append, read plus table, set plus table. So now, okay, let me use this here. Assigning values. Assigning means you have to use set operation. So let me do that. I'm going to wizard, select your node input, and you can use set operation here. Set. So it will automatically generate, here you can see set static attributes. When you use set static attributes, this is for assigning the values. And it is assigning work area. So just before set static attributes, you can assign values to work area. Hyphen field name equal to some value. You can assign like this. ls underscore input hyphen name equal to some value. You can also pass your system fields like this. ls underscore input hyphen some salary is equal to, say for example, 11. So this is how you can implement. Just you have to fill the work area. We are filling work area here. status. So you try to fill the work area here. That's the main point. Fill the work area and call set static attributes. Very simple. Whenever you want to initialize the values. Fill work area and call set static attributes. So let us observe the output here. So we are getting the data, but as soon as I go to fourth screen, you can see fourth screen is initialized with some default values because these are hard-coded within the program. 1122 Mohan is the sy-u name. That's the current user, and these are the values we are initialized through coding. These things you can see here. I hope you have understood this. So let me take some doubts from your side. Okay, hi students. So did you understand these last two requirements? Inserting the record and clearing that, inserting the record and initializing the value. Hello Santosh, is it clear?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Ranjit? Okay,
Initializations.
okay, yeah. Ranjit is absent today. Okay. Kalyan, are you able to follow? Kalyan,
Yes, sir. I can hear you, sir.
are you able to follow?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so it's very simple. Last class notes you have to refer thoroughly to understand today's class.
Okay.
Because the syntaxes are already given in the last class on January 10th, I think. So please
Yes,
refer
sir.
that if you have any problem, and I can also respond.
Sure, sir.
Hi, Sunil, are you able to follow?
Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Is it okay, everything?
Yes, sir. So first I will do practice for today video. So
Okay,
I
fine.
will ask you tomorrow.
Okay, fine. Hello, Srinivas, are you able to follow?
Yes.
Okay. Jaipal? There is some problem. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll stop today's class, and tomorrow again we'll meet at the same time. Tomorrow I'll start exactly at 9:15, so don't think that class will start at 9:30. So everyone make sure that you are here at 9:15. So can I stop today's session?
Can
Yes,
we
sir.
send our doubt by mail also if it is fine?
You can send, it's not a problem. I'll respond. If I'm not responding in 1 or 2 days, at least on third I'll respond. Don't worry about that.
Okay, thank you.
So last time I want to request once again, please try to practice this example because I know the importance of this example. So please practice at least this example. Okay, I'm stopping today's session.